Now in Hong Kong, a volunteer group is playing its part in cleaning up the city's beaches. It says plastic is the most common type of trash it finds. And that's as a study estimates that 1.56 billion face masks entered the oceans globally in 2020, resulting in an additional 4,000 and 6,000 tons of marine plastic pollution. Anne Cheng reports.
This group of people hike through trees and climb down rocks for half an hour just to pick up trash at this beach on Hong Kong's Lamma Island. They're led by volunteer group GoGo Cleanup, which organizes cleanups like this almost every day. Having started 3 years ago, the group has done over 2,200 excursions.
When I first came, there were lots of polystyrene pieces. The ground was completely covered by those plastics. They're likely from the wholesale fish market opposite here.
Since last November, we've collected over 1,000 bags of trash from here. There's been more trash compared to before.
Overall, we mostly find plastic trash, and there are 3 main types: polystyrene, like from fishermen's boxes used to store fish, single-use utensils, and plastic bags. There are also more face masks now, but it depends on where you are.
He says despite such tiresome excursions, he just hopes more people will be aware of the severity of ocean pollution, stop littering, and protect the environment. Meanwhile, a total of 72 bags were collected for the day, and they'll be picked up by the government and sent to landfills. Efforts like this are certainly welcomed by environmentalists, who say the plastic waste problem has worsened because of the pandemic. A study on the impact of COVID-19 on marine plastic pollution estimates that 1.56 billion face masks would have entered the oceans globally in 2020, amounting to around 4,000 to 6,000 metric tons of extra marine plastic pollution. Conducted by NGO Oceans Asia, the report says single-use face masks, which are made from various melt-blown plastics, are difficult to recycle due to their composition and contamination risks. In Hong Kong, such masks are only properly discarded and incinerated as clinical waste from medical environments. Otherwise, they go to landfills. Or they can enter oceans when they're littered or there isn't proper waste management. Once a face mask like this enters the ocean, the plastic from it doesn't just disappear. It breaks up into smaller pieces that become nano and microparticles, which then negatively impact marine wildlife and ecosystems. The study says they can take as long as 450 years to break down and recommends reusable masks as a sustainable alternative.
If you're using a single-use mask, if you have to use one, try to make sure when you are putting it in the rubbish, it's actually going in the rubbish. Like if it's in a waste bin, making sure it stays in there. It's not in one in the street where they blow off. Some offices I know are already having separate bins for medical masks. I'd like to see the government roll that across the city.
But he says such masks are just a tiny part of the problem and believes that the fishing industry is one of the biggest culprits of marine plastic debris. Stokes says he's still working on a report about it, and the next step after will then be to work with the fishing industry to reduce the problem, which will then account for a large amount of plastic entering the ocean. Anne Cheng, CGTN, Hong Kong.